So let's talk about how we market and sell. How do we engage with customers through marketing? So really get them involved, get them to feel what we're doing, and how do we be effective in selling? Well, first of all, let's stop and talk about something I think is very important in terms of our assets, and that is what's called paid, earned, owned. So paid are the online things that we buy, that we paid for, uh, advertisements, pop-ups, things that we push out to be in front of people. So we paid per message or per reach so much per person that it goes out to. That's the first thing. The second thing is earned. So what did we get because of our reputation? What came to us because people were talking about us, said good things about us, recommended us, referred us? And what do we own? So we own our website. We own our Facebook page. And what we did with that determines what it is. How capable is it? What can it do? That determines, that's determined by what we're doing. So how do we manage that? Well, with paid, we're trying to make people aware of us and get them interested so that they'll come to us and come to our website. We're trying to turn that desire into action. They're interested in our product or service. How do we get them to come to us? And then we want to take views, turn them into clicks, things that can then be converted. That's why we're pushing things out in paid. And paid can be to prospects, paid can be to customers. We can pay to reach people who came to our site and looked at something. We can reach them with remarketing, where we send that item back out to them and say, are you still interested? Then there's earned. That's essentially we're taking public relations, where we're becoming the trusted expert. This is where our information has value. And this is where things like shares and likes and referrals add up. And then owned, those are our blogs, our accounts, our websites, the things that we control, the things that we should be able to measure and track here, either ourselves or through Google Analytics or Facebook Blueprint, something like that. Okay. Engagement, how much people do with us, how much mind space they have with us is actually a measurable thing. How much time do they spend on our website? What are they looking at? Tells us their priorities. We can look at the kinds of things they're doing and see, are they engaging and making a mental connection? Their involvement, are they acting? Are they doing things with us? So we can tell if they care or not. And that's something that we want to build. So we want to look at their time, at their visits and views. We're interested in how many conversations we have. The sentiment, we can measure sentiment. There are services to measure sentiment. How much are people saying about you? How much share of voice do you have? Is it positive or negative? So we can see what's going on and what they're thinking and what we're earning in our paid, earned, owned. And we can look at basic actions and measure them. We can set up a dashboard and say how many visits, how many views, how many clicks, how much time on site, what was shared, what was referred on to someone else, and start to measure and track that process and say, okay, what are these various things doing in terms of their impact on purchase? What are the things that we need to build that matter the most? So then we need to look at our media choices. How do we go and reach out to people? How do we integrate that with what we're doing? So as we're going away from the old advertising model where we write a check to a newspaper and they put something out there for us, and now we're creating things, we're spending time, we're spending thought thinking about things and making content for people. It's the things that we share that have value. The sites, where do we share it? Do we put it on our site? Do we put it on a blog? Is it on Facebook? Will someone else pick it up? Is some other expert in the field willing to pick up what we have and spread it for us? Will people spread it themselves? Can it go viral? And our accounts are how we control it. So how are we moving things through Facebook, blog sites, websites, and so on. Now, we manage that in part by looking at the content, and that is having a consistent brand. Think of it as a character on a television show or in a movie. They have a personality. They act a certain way. You expect something, and your brand is that way. It has a personality, and it needs to be consistently itself. So we want to have the same story about that brand in the same character being told over and over again, whether it's in paid, earned, or owned media. We want to look at the sites where the information is available. What are we sharing? What's specific? We're going to be different. We're going to have a slightly different personality on Facebook than we will on LinkedIn. We're going to be slightly different on our website. We're going to engage in a different way. So the content will be different. The format will be different with emails and Facebook and so forth. And the accounts that we have, we want to be able to integrate them because we are one. We are one entity. We are one person, one brand. And we want to have it all work together in concert. It's like players on a team all working together in one way. We want to have dashboards where we say, what are the key performance indicators we want to measure? And the basics start with things like views and clicks and engaged visits. And we want to make sure we manage ownerships and permissions. One of the things I run into consistently with small businesses is they let somebody else handle who owns the Facebook page or who owns this website, and they put their stuff on it. And it seems like sooner or later, they always run into some outside consultant who says, mine, I don't want to share this. And we have this problem. Somebody won't give you your own Facebook page, or somebody won't give you your own Google Analytics. So you want to be really careful about who owns it. And just long story short, you own it and you control it. And anybody that works for you or does work for you has to understand that. Period. End of story.